OMG, we are back. This is the last half hour of our second show.
That's right. We're almost done.
No, we're All Things Employment at
that's right.
.com.
All Things Employment. Thanks for coming.
Almost Done is another show.
That's true.
Okay, and I am Aaron Boyce, and you are
Robynne Rose-Haymer
with
Dr. David Ennis.
We're going to have some fun this last half hour, are we not?
Absolutely.
All right, so what do we start with?
We're starting this half hour with our Think About It answers. And to recap on the question, what are some resources for the job search besides a newspaper?
Now understand, this almost did not happen. But due to the prodding and yes, humiliation that Robynne provided, you now have your Think About It. And here are the answers. So, besides the classifieds, how about the business section, the business calendar? That's a great place to go because it's telling you about people who are doing things calendar-wise. You can go, you can meet them, you can network, you can shake hands. It's a great place to meet business people, employers who can hire you. The community section is another great place. It has articles about various companies donating time, money, and personnel to worthwhile causes. Again, anytime that you can be in the mix is a good thing. How about the people moving up section? That'd be number 2 or number 3. People moving up. Now, what I love about that section is something like Dr. David Ennis has recently been promoted to the management of corporate affairs. Now, when you see that, what do? You send a letter to Dr. David Ennis congratulating him for his promotion and seeing if the two of you can meet over coffee. It is something that job seekers just don't do. How about become a part of the newspaper? Yes, you may be surprised that they are always looking for people to write articles. So if you can indeed write an article, that's called free advertising. So now, not only do people see your article, but employers see your article and it makes you the expert. If you have an article in the paper, you're the expert. And people hire experts. And then last, and I know you don't want to hear this, people, I'm going to put it out there, obituaries. Yeah, I said it, obituaries. That means that somebody who had a job ain't got a job no more. And so what you can do is find out where that person used to work. I know that's terrible, but guess what? You'll be doing a public service. You see, as they go, they're looking for somebody to fill that space. I know that we said that he's gone, we said that she's gone, but the person is also sad because now production is not being met. Imagine if you are the person who could bring that production back into the workplace. And that is your Tell Me About It.
Well, that was our Think About It, and I really appreciate the fact that you did tell us about it. And I'm going to do a quick recap for our listeners. If you are seeking employment and you're looking for non-traditional places besides the classifieds in the paper, you can network. You can send a letter to people that you've recently discovered have promoted in their positions. You can go to business mixers. You can become a freelance writer. And luckily, there's a lot of opportunities for freelance writing in some of the up-and-coming social media sites as well, like LinkedIn. You might be able to publish articles there as well. And you can also fill recently vacated positions due to various reasons. I won't bring us back through that sad moment in all things employment history, how those vacancies have occurred.
So it's called life, okay, or lack of, you could say.
All right, so let's move along in our show. Let's talk about the point counterpoint. Aaron, before in our pre-production meeting, you were saying that you wanted to have a discussion about an event that happened this week.
Well, my point, counterpoint, is simply this. Last week, I saw a wondrous thing. It was a citywide, nationwide walkout of employees from low-paying, mostly food service jobs. So McDonald's and Taco Bell and Burger King and probably Subway, none of these places were left out. Now, what were the employees upset about? The fact that they are not being paid what's called a livable wage. The fact that they're getting paid minimum wage. Now, some people have said that they've been on the job for 9, 10, 15 years, and they've never gotten a salary hike. They've still been on minimum wage. As much as I agree and was happy to see this effort, and I saw some very young people doing some, they were absolutely advocating for success, and I like that. I had to question the person who says, been there for 10 years, 15 years. I'm thinking that's not what those jobs are for. I'm thinking that if you're going to be there for 15 years, maybe you need another plan. Education, schooling, maybe attitude adjustment. I'm not saying it's your fault now, but I'm saying that we gotta be creative in our actions. Yes, your family needs more than minimum wage. So go out and get it. And there are ways to do it. So as much as I applaud your efforts in staging this and walking out and standing up for what you believe, I think that your efforts can be better suited by planning a better attack. And that is my point.
Dr. Ennis, would you like to counterpoint Aaron's points, or do you want me to eviscerate him? Which would you like?
I'll partner with you. With you.
Perfect.
So that was wonderfully stated, Aaron. But not everyone is fortunate enough to get the opportunities that you're talking about to move forward. And though I agree with you, I think it's one great point that 15 years is certainly too long in a job like that. Many of these individuals are doing it because that is the opportunity that they have. And so I question, what are the ways? That's my question for you. What are the ways to do it?
And Aaron, before you explain to Dr. Ennis the ways, and I'm sure you've thought about this deeply and sincerely, so I'm sure you have a good list for us, I do want to counterpoint your planning statements, because many of those individuals that I saw on television in the walkout were women who had children. And as a working parent, I can tell you there are many, many things that you can plan, but planning your career when you have kids often falls to the very bottom of that list. And as an individual who completed her undergraduate education in just shy of 15 years, I can tell you that sometimes 15 years goes by in the blink of an eye when you have kids.
See now, I love the way you're saying this. You see, you had a plan. You was going to school, okay? You was going to school. You was doing things, okay, to improve yourself. So when this low-paying job at food service, see, if that's part of your the big picture, that's fine. But when it is the picture, then that's not fine, okay? Again, there's no shame in working McDonald's or any food service job. The only pain there is when you don't want to be there. And so if they're walking out saying that they deserve a better wage, well, think about this. Assuming that they get the $15 an hour wage hike that they won, doesn't that mean now that we're all going to eat $10 burgers and $5 French fries?
Well, I don't know. It seems as though, Aaron, that I mean, I respect your point of view, but it seems as though you view this position as a starting point for everyone. But for many people, that's the midway or the end point, because they've come from a place that is even lower than food service as a career. So I think to speak disparagingly of people who are doing that without understanding from whence they came is a major problem.
No one's speaking disparagingly about them. That's just not happening. Again, I respect their effort. I respect the hard work. I got to tell you something. I've seen a lot of people put a whole lot of hard work and end up with nothing except a broken back. I'm saying work smarter, not harder.
And I agree with the working smarter, not harder. And I want to bounce off what Dr. Ennis said. Foundation and where we start in our journey plays just as much of a role as our desire, our planning, and our goals. If you started with a high school diploma when you got to the food service job, then sure, your next step might be post-secondary education. But if when you got to the food service job, you didn't have a high school diploma or GED, then you've got to take some time and figure out how you're going to get that minimum level of education while you're working a full-time, low-wage job.
See, other people do it. They do it so much. There are resources for them to do that. I've seen it.
Absolutely. I do not disagree with you that there are not resources available, that it's possible. But to say that it's probable or necessary or even expected that someone who didn't start in the same place as others should end up at the same place as others is slightly skewed. And to your point regarding that if they don't want to be there, it doesn't matter who your employer is. There's a lot of people who don't want to be at their job. So it's not just the low-wage employee. There are mid-range employees. There are employees that make $100,000 a year.
One of the saddest things in the world is to work a job 40 hours a week for 20, 30 years, and you hate every day of it. That's a sad reality, and I would not want that for anybody, whether they make $1 million or $975. That's a sad reality, and I say, if you get that sad reality, change your reality. It's hard to do. It's very hard to do, but we talked about mental health, did we not?
Yes.
Changing your reality improves mental health.
Absolutely. And I would like to bring us all the way full circle back to our quote, "The unexamined life is not worth living." I can appreciate the argument that it's time to take a look at where you are if you are unhappy with your employment situation. But I wouldn't want to dictate to anyone that they shouldn't be someplace after a prescribed period of time because they don't make a livable wage.
And they can be wherever they want. They can complain however long that they want. This is America, and we have the right to complain, or we have the right to do something so that we don't have to complain.
Oh, Aaron.
And that's all I'm saying.
Oh, Aaron.
Well, that's my point.
Heartily disagree that the only thing stopping some people from getting to the next place in their career is their desire. There are a number of factors that go into your ability to be mobile, upwardly and otherwise. Would you agree, Dr. Ennis?
I absolutely would agree, and it comes back to a point that we always use within our practice about sustainable change. And so when we are looking at issues in the community, social issues that we want to change, and we focus purely on the event that happened. So someone stayed in the low-wage job for 15 years, and we immediately want them to just correct it with some superficial practice that will change what that is, instead of looking well below the surface of that issue and dealing with what is the belief system that holds someone in a position that long. If we can shift belief systems, I believe that we can shift lots of things in this world.
I gotta tell you, I can't believe that I'm the only one in this room who thinks that there has to be accountability in all of this, action in all of this. If you are with me, then just go to allthingsemployment@gmail.com. I need some love, people. I need some support. However, if you're with Dr. David and Robynne, Rose-Haymer, allthingsemployment@gmail.com. Point, counterpoint. Let's hear what you have to say, and we'll bring it out our next couple of shows.
Great. I look forward to the feedback. You can find us at allthingsemployment@gmail.com. You're also listening to us at One Talk Network. We are All Things Employment. We're going to wrap up points, counterpoints with this. Those of you who have strong feelings on this subject, we look forward to your feedback. Go visit us at our website, our Facebook page. Go visit us via email. Let's talk about this, because there is more than just meets the eye here. What we've got coming up next is our top 5, and then we'll give you a little recap of what's happened on our show and what we'll be doing next week. Aaron?
No, you have a top 5.
I do have the top
Robynne?
5. Thank you very much for that kind introduction. We've been doing this all of 1 week, and Aaron doesn't even want to introduce my segment anymore.
Wait. Hold on. And now, the top 5 with Robynne Rose-Haymer. Ding, 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 ding.
That was much better. Thank you very much for the acknowledgement, Aaron.
And now, here's Robynne.
Thank you, Aaron.
And Robynne is coming up right now.
Ladies and gentlemen who are watching on YouTube, you're about to witness a crime. Thank you, Aaron. Insert evil glare. I want to thank you for that wonderful and extended introduction of the top 5. Today we'll be talking about the top 5 things that you need for your job search. Number 1, your network. It is important that as you are job seeking, you tell everyone you know that you are looking for employment. You never know who has a job, who just heard about a job, or who is vacating a job and could have an opportunity available to you. The number 2 thing that you need to do with your job search is keep your resume current. Your resume is a living document. I have heard multiple times people say, I finished my resume is done. And that is an inaccurate reflection of the document itself. Your resume should be fresh, it should be current. There are things that are happening in the employment and employability industry all the time, so you should be making sure that your resume is fresh.
Fresh like a morning biscuit.
Just like a morning biscuit. Additionally, you're going to want to check professional journals and also professional websites. That's a non-traditional place to look for employment. So if you're looking for a work, for instance, as a stenographer, you're going to want to check with the professional organizations designed for stenographers. Number 4, in your job search, you want to keep a log of where you have applied so you can be organized about follow-up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you must follow up as you're job searching. It is incredibly important that you loop back in to those employers that you have submitted an application or a resume and let them know of your continued interest in a position. Some employers have a protracted hiring period, and so you'll want to just check in and see where your application or your resume is in the process.
Was follow-up number 5?
Follow-up is number 4.
I thought search log was number 4.
No, search professional journals is number 3.
Okay, and then you say, can somebody you have to have a search log or a log?
Keeping a log of where you have applied
That's the
so you
one.
can follow up is all part of the same.
There we go. Okay.
And number 5 for job searching is looking for a job is a job. Please don't mistake this as something that you are doing as a hobby. It is not something you're doing in your free time. It is not something that you are doing around all of the other things that you have to do. You should create a schedule for yourself, just like when you are employed. You should job search at a specific time. You should follow up at a specific time. You should work on your resume at a specific time. And that time should be kept on a calendar, on a log, on a schedule, so that you are accountable to yourself for your job search activities. And that is our top 5. Did you get that all down, Aaron?
I got it all down.
Is it legible, Dr. Ennis?
It is not.
It's readable.
Oh, okay.
But it's down.
All right. Well, we'll make sure that we get that on the Facebook page as well, the top 5 things that you need to know for your job search. And Aaron, what about this show? Can you believe we are almost done?
We are, and we had such a wonderful show too. I mean, I am just totally thrilled with Demeter Hillard with UCDMC.
That's correct.
And she was a hemo something. Hemophilia, that's the one, you know. You know, so we have to have a badge. She's fabulous, as well as Kareem Watson with Tuskegee Flyers.
Absolutely.
Got to have him back, and I can't wait for him to join us on the march on January 19th. You said, right?
Absolutely.
Martin Luther King Day march, and of course we have the one and the only, truly the fabulous Dr. David, and I'm so happy that he was able to come and join us. And can you please share with us one last time, name your company and your contact info, please.
The Cosi Group, management consulting firm based here in Sacramento. You can reach us online at www.cosigroup.com or email us at info@cosigroup.com or call one of our representatives at 916-238-8817.
All right.
Thanks for that, Aaron.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for pointing out. So what's happening next week, Ms. Robynne?
Well, I'm really excited because next week we're going to be talking about entrepreneurism, and we are very lucky to have one of our area's leading entrepreneurs. I'm excited that Jason Moulton will be with us. He has designed a new curriculum for Elk Grove adult and community education, and some of my students will be benefiting from his expertise. And so if you are an entrepreneur thinking about being an entrepreneur, you are not going to want to miss all things employment at onetalknetwork.com next week.
By the way, Robynne, who do you work for?
I work for Elk Grove Unified School District.
And who do you work for?
I work for myself.
Oh, there you go. Thank you so very much. All right. And Robynne, where do you work?
I work at Elk Grove Unified School District.
Thank you so very much. You know, see, you know, we're going to talk about entrepreneurship, and yes, that's a very important part of being successful. Whether you're looking for a job or not, I say you need to have your own.
Absolutely.
Because no one wants a desperate person, and you're not desperate when you have your own. So, wow, that was a great show. I had fun. You had fun?
I had fun too.
Dr. David, did you have fun?
Fantastic. Great time.
All right then. So let's see. I wanted to leave folks with this, and it's what makes sense to me. Successful people make life happen for them. They don't let life happen to them. It's on all my materials. It's what I lead with in every workshop that I've ever done. And I understand, like everyone understands, that does happen. And yes, I said does happen. I understand that. But successful people, when that does happen, they find a way to rise like the phoenix out of the ashes, and they make life happen for them. They don't want life to happen to them. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for joining myself with
Robynne Rose-Haymer
and
Dr. David Ennis
at All Things Employment on OneTalkNetwork.com, and we'll see you next week.